Mhm. Yeah, that'd be fine. Mhm.
No. Very little Italian. Most of it consists of swear words coming in.
Mhm.
Pelicans don't have it.
Mhm.
All right, the time is 7 p.m., so we'll call this meeting to order. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, could we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pulaski,
Here.
Trustee Della Penna,
Here.
Trustee Domke,
Here.
Trustee Forsythe, here, Trustee Lanisa, here, Trustee Prokowski,
Here.
Trustee Trejo.
We have a quorum. We'll move on to the presentation of the prepared agenda. Is there a motion to
So
approve?
move, David. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries. Move on to Village Board public comment. Anyone wish to provide a comment on a topic or an agenda item may address the Village Board in person during the public comment and public hearing segments of the Village Board agenda. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person. The Village Board also adopted the IML Civility Pledge, which states, in the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. Madam Clerk, do we have any witness slips submitted in advance?
One in advance from David Yoakum.
Approach the podium, please.
Well, I'm back again this time, because I have some additional things to present to you for your consideration.
Bring the microphone down a little bit. Thank you.
Sure. One of the things that has bothered me since the last meeting is you said that you met for quite a while and worked on the problem of the lead pipes. Funny, I didn't know about it. I received a notice I had a lead pipe on October 14th of this fall. So did the rest of the people in our area that are going to get lead pipes removed. 2 years ago, you knew about it. You've done 40 houses since then. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about your meeting. We're 193 people left. There were 230 originally. Were they told to attend the meeting so they could give their input? No, they weren't. In fact, people that are on the list for years from now have yet to be contacted. So nobody knows about these rules and regulations concerning these lead pipes, and that they're going to have to pay for them. I still say it's a public health issue. I still say some sort of help could be done. If there's a drainage problem in our property, you go 50-50 with it to try and solve it. If a tree needs to be planted, you go 50-50. Although why we're paying 50% of a tree on the parkway is beyond me, but we do anyway. If it's a sidewalk, it's 50-50. But now all of a sudden with the lead pipe, even though I paid for maintenance on these pipes for years, all of a sudden it's just my problem. And I don't think that's fair. I think the communication on this has not been good. You have not contacted the homeowners. There would be more people at this meeting that you had if we knew about it. I mean, it seems kind of silly that I'm now bringing this up 2 years later. Again, I'll bet you would have had 200 people at that meeting if they'd known about it 2 years ago. And the people with the lead pipes did not get letters. We're having a meeting about lead pipes that are at your house. Nobody told us. The lead pipes, I don't care how good the quality of the water is going into a pipe, it's going into a lead pipe. Your own handouts to us say that the health effects of lead pipes. And it says, work on a lead pipe may result in a sediment possibly containing lead from the service line in the building's water, to the building's water. You're going to be replacing your service lines, and that's going to maybe produce lead at that point into our place. And again, you have written instructions that if I don't have my lead pipe replaced by the time you guys come out and do your section of it, you have the ability to shut my water off. Now, you said you're not going to, but that's a promise. That's not what's written. In addition, this whole lead pipe situation is a matter of priorities. Just what are the priorities of this community? To take care of the lead pipes for 190 residences, or to do other things that you want to do with your money? I think infrastructure is the most important thing that you should be doing. So I really want you to stop and think about it a little bit more, if you would. Please give some consideration to the 200 households that have this. This isn't everybody in this community, but we did pay for maintenance month by month on our water bill, and apparently it didn't happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I just would like to clarify for the record, the village is replacing all the public lead service lines. What we are not covering is the private service lines to a house. Just like if your sewer line collapsed to your private residence, or your roof collapsed, or you had an issue with that, that's the property owner's responsibility, not the village's property or responsibility. When homes were built, the village did not install plumbing into homes. That was done by the developer or the homeowner at that time, and the village is not responsible for that. And that is why we are focusing on the service lines that are publicly owned and maintained, and not for private service lines in that regard. I'd also like to note, this is the first year our capital improvements budget surpasses our general operating revenue. And so for the first year, we're actually investing more in infrastructure than on general operations for the village. And we foresee that happening in the next couple of years. So we are doing a massive investment in our infrastructure. The problem is we just have a number of infrastructure needs that we have to address right now. Are there any other members of the public that wish to address the board at this time? Let the record show none. We'll continue on with officials and staff. Yeah, if you don't mind, just please come to the podium and state your name into the microphone for the record.
Apologize, I'm late. My name is Tom Swantek. I live in 26 East Woodworth Place on the same block that Dave lives on. I wasn't prepared to speak tonight, but I want to reiterate what Dave said and how he spoke to the board, and suggesting that this is something that the village has some responsibility for. It is a health concern. I have lived in that house for 23 years. I'm a Roselle resident for life. I'm 55 years old, right? My family, myself, we have spent a lot in taxes in this community. And we all know the danger of lead. I have children who now have lived in that house since infancy and are in their 20s, and I'm concerned about their long-term health, right? So I think there is a responsibility for the village to assist in some way to make sure that it is financially possible for families to replace those pipes. I would love to do it. I have children in college. There are people on my street who are retired on fixed incomes. I don't know if I can afford a $10,000 replacement, right? And so where does it leave us if we can't afford to do this? So every time the village has asked for some assistance when it comes to a new library, I'm for it. For a new swimming pool, I voted for it. For home rule, I'm in on it because I love this community. I lived here my entire life, and I feel that I want to support the growth of this town. It has improved in many ways, right? But I also feel like this is something that you know about, and can we find a way to make it affordable for the residents, 200 residents who have been paying a special monthly maintenance fee? And there's, what, 8,500 homes in the town? The amount of money that could be contributed to subsidize those 200 is relatively small. And I would like for you at least to consider that this is a burden that most of us cannot afford. Okay, especially the retired people on my street. And I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'd just like to note the CISV is committed fully to projects including our sewer treatment plant upgrades and our existing water main replacement and sewer main replacement that we have to do. And so those are in excess of tens of millions of dollars. And so we do have a need-based solution for people who do meet criteria to receive relief during the installation process. And also, if a homeowner cannot, they simply have to sign an EPA waiver saying that they acknowledge that they were given the information and they were opting not to replace their line, and that's simply what can happen for others at that moment. I'll also note, my house has lead service lines. I have an infant and a 4-year-old. I've lived in this town as well, so this is a real issue for me as well. And so I understand the risks or the concerns that people are expressing, and it's something that I'm living right now myself, and so I want to throw that out there. This isn't being just throwing caution to the wind or being cavalier about it. I'm living in the exact same situation as the rest of the 200 people in this village as well. So I just want to state that for the record. Is there any other members of the public that wish to address the board at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to officials and staff reports. Under mayor's report, I am very pleased to invite the Roselle Sister Cities Association Italian Committee to give a brief presentation updating us on their efforts to find us a new sister city. So if you'd like to come to the podium and just state your names for the record.
Hi, I'm Gina Vescovi, and I am the chair for the Roselle Sister Cities Italian Committee. And I want this newfound passionate friend of ours to share his vision with a potential sister city with you. Okay? I welcome Patrick Capriati.
Good evening. Thank you, Gina. I thought she was going to take a minute and a half, but I think she's leaving it up to me. Good evening. My name is Patrick Capriati. I'm a senior trade promotion officer for the Italian Trade Commission, the commercial section of the Italian Embassy. I'm a resident of Rodale. Throughout I've lived here in the States for over 57 years. Throughout my life, I've had a deep passion for my heritage. And when I found out that Roselle had an Italian sister city committee, but not a city, I volunteered to help them in this endeavor. I've had experiences with the village of Addison in a very successful sister city. I know that Roselle is a wonderful sister city with Poland. Now it's the time has come for us to, for me to invest my time and my effort in to help Roselle find a very successful sister city in Italy. The city is called Mola di Bari. I've just prepared a couple of slides. I was born in Mola di Bari. I was 13 years old when I came to the States. And Mola, if you look at Italy, it's shaped like a booth, okay? That's the easiest way. So Mola di Bari is on the heel of the booth, overlooking Greece and Albania, okay, so on the Adriatic Sea. I've also mapped out where Naples is, right across from Mola di Bari in Rome. going up to Florence. The population of, when you're looking at a sister city, you need to find common denominators. The population of Mola di Bari is around 25,000, which is the size of the population of Roselle. In terms of history, Mola di Bari dates back to the Middle Ages. One of the things that I found out, and I just destroyed that I found out that the Crusades were leaving ship, going over to the Holy Land, using Mola di Bari as one of the ports. In our city, we have a cathedral which was built in the 13th century. We have a castle which dates back also to the 13th century. We have an opera house. The industrial sector, manufacturing, is very important for our town. Also transportation, hydraulic, pneumatic industry, agricultural. There is a very, Puglia, which is the region where Mola di Bari is located, is become a very important tourist destination. So there's a lot of infrastructures in terms of hotels and restaurants that are located in Mola di Bari. And if I can ask to please advance, because here we go. So that's an aerial view. It's on the Adriatic Sea. The next slide, please. There's a beautiful seaport. Fishing is one of the main commodities. And in terms of agriculture, olives and table grapes are the two main crops in Mola di Bari. You'll see palm trees along the seawalk close to the castle. And the historical center, it's a medieval city. The cathedral is a 13th century dedicated to St. Nicholas. So it's a very historic city. Here's the castle, medieval castle, the piazza, which is the center of the city, where where the population will gather every day, and also on Sunday after dinner, you will see people come to the piazza and greet and meet other friends and neighbors. The castle's been restored, and it's also very interesting to witness history in the making. And we also have a beautiful opera house, which was dedicated to an Italian composer, which was born in Mola di Bari. Here, I wanted to point out one of the things that we're trying to do is plan a trip to Mola, to Italy in September, to coincide with the religious celebration of the Madonna, Our Lady of Sorrow. And last year I was there and we celebrated the 290th anniversary. So this September will be 291. And I like, during our trip to Puglia, we would like people to experience the history, the tradition. And this is really, when you look at Sister City, that is really the vision, the mission is to, we look at a sister city as a partnership. And we will be focusing on exchanges, culture, education, arts. The next step for our committee is to make the residents of Roselle be aware of that the city of Roselle has found an Italian city that is interested in formally entering into a sister city agreement. And really my presence here tonight is to ask for the board's support and permission to proceed with this undertaking.
Thank you so much. So are there any questions on the board for the Italian Sister Cities Committee at this time? I know we had a good working meeting to discuss it. I think, I commend all the volunteers in town and to you as well for all the work that you guys have put into this initiative. I know we've had a number of new committees started over the last couple of years, and this can be a trying process. It's akin to dating, I would say, where we've had a lot of highs and lows and a very interesting journey with all of them. And so I think it's really exciting that we have a willing partner in Mola who's interested in partnering with us. So is there any objection from the board with us continuing to explore this? And I know it's a little bit different. Before it was a commission of the village. Now it is a independent association, so I felt it was important that the board be updated by the committees, so that way if there was any objections, we could voice that. But as a private organization, I'll continue to work with them then, if there's no objections, so we can kind of continue to further our hopeful sister cityhood with MOLA.
You know, rename the promenade out here, the Piazza.
I don't know, we'll go that far, but it does start with a P, so it does
We
work.
don't have any palm trees either, so maybe we'll have to bring in some plastic ones or something.
Well, we'll work on that. So, well, thank you so much. There's no objections from the board, so we'll continue on. And if there's anything that the village can do to partner with you and the rest of the Italian Sister Cities committee, please let us know.
Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other than that, I do not have anything under my report tonight. Is there any village trustees that have a report? Trustee Lanisa.
First, I'd like to make an announcement about the Roselle Police Department Citizen Police Academy. The Roselle Police Department would like to invite anyone 18 years or older who lives or works in Roselle to their annual Citizen Police Academy. Police Academy is a 11-week course designed to enhance communication between the police and our community. Each week, participants receive instruction in a variety of topics such as traffic enforcement, defense tactics, crime scene processing, and investigations, just to name a few. As a participant, you will have the opportunity to do a ride-along with a police officer, which I will say I have done and is very interesting. The academy will run every Thursday night, beginning March 6th and until May 15th from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. For more information, please visit the Roselle Police Department's Facebook page and download an application at their website, roselle.il.us/CPA. Seats fill up fast, so get your application in today. And second of all, I'd also like to invite anybody to join an evening of art, music, and photography from celebrated local artists this coming Saturday. The event will be held Saturday, March 1st at Trinity Family Life Center over on Rush Street from 7 till 9 p.m. Tickets to the event are $25 each, and proceeds go to the first responder sculpture that will be installed later in the month of May. Appetizers, desserts, and beverages will be available at the event. Artists will have their artistic and cultural specialties available for you to experience and purchase. Please purchase your tickets online at, I can give you the website, but I think you can also go to the Roselle Arts and Culture.org, Arts and Culture around the world, and anybody who would like to see me, I can give you the actual printout with all the dashes and forward slashes.
Great.
So please help out, and that should be the last event for the Roselle Arts and Cultures Foundation that is supporting the sculpture that the artist is completing that is be installed in front of the police station.
Great. Thank you so much. Any other trustees have a report tonight? Seeing none, village clerk,
Report.
village attorney,
No report.
village administrator, treasurer's report. Finance Director Dahl will come on up and give us our January treasurer's report, the first one for 2025.
Yeah, yes, good evening. Usually I have in there the, happy new fiscal year. So in the packet tonight is the January Treasurer's Report. Feel free to take the time to look through it. There's a lot of information about the month results, the year to date, which is only 1 month, but and then various schedules and the cash and investments held by the village. So I have some highlights, and these are the top 6 revenues that were budgeted for the general fund. So not top 6 in what we got for the month, but top 6 for the budget. So we got a whopping $793 from Cook County for property tax. We'll start to see that come in. We received some in February. We'll receive more in March, and then June will be DuPage County. There is $389,000, almost $390,000 for October sales in sales tax. which was a 9.4% increase over the previous October. State income tax, 418,000. That was a large increase, 14.6% over 2024, and actually 90,000 over budget, or what we expected to see for that month. It fluctuates each month, but I can, based on many years of collecting, kind of figure out where we're at. It was 90,000 over budget. Still looking into the reasons why we received that much money in January. Ambulance billing, another one of our large revenues, 128,000. Local use tax, 42,000. You'll see that's a 45.8% decrease from 2023. It's been very hard to pinpoint our local use tax, and we know it's going down. Natural gas use tax, you'll see in the report. If you're looking in the general fund, it's not there. It's actually in the general capital projects fund, because this revenue was for December, so we actually book it back later on in the year. So it was collected in January. It was 112,000, like I said, for December. The February tax that we receive in February will now going forward be in the general fund. You'll see that there. And then just some notes on the report. Our top 10 food and beverage retailers that are in the report that I talk about, of course, just in name only, but the top 10, they are now a mix of restaurants and retailers. You'll see Linford and Montrose Market in that top 10 because they sell more than just, they're not a restaurant, but they sell alcohol and in the case of Montrose Market, they're hot foods and they're cold foods actually. So the things that you can eat, walk in, grab and eat are showing up there as well. So which was part of the reason why we expanded and created the food and beverage tab. Through February 21st, just a highlight of where we're at the end of 2024. The general fund is 1.6 million expenditures over revenues. If you remember, 1.5 million of that is due to the Trinity property being recorded as an expenditure. So it's therefore, if you do the difference, it's about 88,000 below revenues. But again, we're still accruing. We earn more in sales tax and some of these other things than the year before. You'll see that work out. We'll probably be closer to zero than, well, it'll be closer, put it that way. And I'm happy to answer any questions on the report that you may have.
Any questions from the board for Tom? I know there's been a lot of splashy headlines, if you will, or news, and I don't want to dabble into this, but more so from an education perspective. So I know we have a number of outstanding grants that are, whether it's being dispersed by the state or directly by the federal government to us. Can you just give us a quick summary of where we're at with some of the status of those and what those amount to?
Sure. Reading about those very much. So we have 2 grants through DCEO. Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. One was for 250,000. We received all of that. We just, in fact, got the check today for the last 50,000. So that one's done. That was for the work on Rosemont and the stormwater for the year. So that one's done. We have another one for 100,000 for the Plum Grove Road Bridge. That is secure. We'll be getting that. The ones that we're worried about, the ITEP grant, is 3.9 million for the pedestrian bridge. That is through federal dollars, so we're a little concerned about that one. But it's the ones we call the Raja Bucks, the community project funding. So we have 750,000. We've received, got some money today as well. A little over 100,000 of that, 750. But of course, we're still moving forward. It's taking time to get the design engineering done. That can be in jeopardy. Depending on if they just cut funding for that and say it's no longer. And then we have the 500,000 community project funding that is still working through the process. I noticed last week that it moved to another reviewer, which is good. So it's still moving forward. But those we're concerned about.
And I know the other big thing that we're obviously working through is doing the sewer treatment plant expansion as well as the nutrient removal upgrades for somewhere in the ballpark of $80 to $100 million. Those are mostly being funded through Illinois EPA loans that were subsidized with the federal government. to make sure that we could do that at lower costs, around a 1% interest rate. Do we have a feeling of, are those at risk, or is that a open-ended thing that could create an issue for us?
Yeah, I can't speculate, but it's an open-ended. It depends on how much money they get from the federal government, but also as communities pay off those loans like we do, we have open loans right now, about 17 million. You know, we send money in and it comes back out in the way of loans. So there's, you know, it's a revolving, but there's always an infusion of cash. You know, I'd be more worried if I was one of the ones that was waiting for the principal to be written off, or at least the interest. We'll have to wait and see. I know the one that we're waiting for, it's $13 million for the bottom-end work, is still in the process. We've been told nothing, but it's on its way. It's being funded. It's the next round that'll take place coming up in the next couple of months that we'll have to wait and see. I don't want to speculate on that, but there's a WIFIA grant, which we haven't applied for yet, but it's one of the opportunities that we have. I'm really worried about that one. Now, again, we don't have an application out there. We're not looking for that. It's, you know, we would have to come up with 50% of the funding and they would fund 50%. I'm just don't know if that's going to go away or not.
Got it. And then, yeah, obviously any change would need board policy direction on it, but if those subsidized loans were to go away, what are some of those tools the village has to fund these projects that we still have to get done?
The IEPA loans, if those go
Yeah,
away,
hypothetically, just,
typically, so that's $63 million if we don't get all of it. Tools in our toolbox is this, you know, CIS fees would have to increase, basically what we kind of went through with home rule. Or trying to get these, some of these are mandated by the EPA. So EPA would be cutting off funding, but then keeping the mandates there. We'd have to ask for an extension or do something. We still need the expansion at the Devlin plant, so that's not something that's going to go away. But we'd have to really do some digging to figure out how to pay for those.
great. No, thank you. Wayne?
Well, you know, disconcerting as it is, if we don't get the money, can't they rescind some of the requirements that we don't have to put in the money into these projects?
I think the
If
problem
they
is,
take away our money, can they take away our mandate?
I think the problem is there's a disconnect between the federal and the state level.
Mhm.
This federal government could take away those requirements, but the Illinois EPA would have to also remove those requirements on us. And I don't know if the Illinois EPA would remove those requirements on us.
Right, because that comes.
That's another reason that Illinois is a
There's,
great place to live, because they should work with us on that.
so obviously,
Stranded like that, that's not right.
a lot of hypotheticals, but I think it's important to at least air these things and discuss them a little bit. So that way, should the board have to make any policy decisions, you know, we're not starting from scratch. And I think it's important as we take in very volatile news, you know, how that can impact, you know, even Roselle and these conversations. So, but any other questions for Tom?
Get some more money, Tom. Find some more money somewhere.
Do my best.
Thank you so much. We'll continue with our agenda to unfinished business. First, we have the consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine, procedural, informational, self-explanatory, and non-controversial in nature and will be enacted in one motion. There will be no discussion of these items unless removed from the consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda tonight? Seeing none, tonight we have presentation and approval of the village board minutes of February 10th, 2025. Adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract with Corrective Asphalt Material for the 2025 pavement rejuvenation program in the amount not to exceed $36,000. Pass an ordinance correcting a Scrivener's error in the Village of Roselle zoning code. Adopt a resolution approving and authorizing the extension of an agreement by and between the Village of Roselle and Lakeshore Recycling Systems for street sweeping services. And that is all. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? Madam Clerk, we have a roll call, please.
Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Delapenna.
Aye.
Trustee Prokowski.
Aye.
Trustee Forsythe.
Aye.
That motion carries. I will continue on. We have nothing under development and engineering services tonight. Administration, Trustee Domke.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a memorandum of understanding by and between the Village of Roselle and the Flags for Roselle, not for profit.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, can we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Delapenna.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Prokowski.
Abstain.
Trustee Forsythe.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye. That motion carries. That's it under administration tonight. Under fire, trustee Delapenna.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2025 Horton ambulance from Foster Coach Sales, Inc. in the amount of $421,851 through the Suburban Purchasing Cooperative.
Second. Any discussion? You gonna deliver this one on time? I don't want to curse ourselves, so.
3 years
You don't even have to answer that question. Hopefully we've got the supply chain issues on that. Any other questions or comments? We have a roll call, please.
Trustee Delapenna.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Prokowski.
Aye.
Trustee Forsythe.
Aye.
That motion carries. It's all under fire tonight. We have nothing under police. Public Works, trustee Trejo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement for design, engineering, and bidding services for the Devlin wastewater treatment plant expansion and nutrient removal upgrades between the Village of Roselle and Trotter and Associates Incorporated.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this one? Yes.
The only thing I would just call it, since it's not called out in the main agenda, is that this will be a $2 million infrastructure investment.
Great, thank you. All right, could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Delapenna.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Forsythe.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Prokowski.
Aye.
That motion carries. For Public Works Finance, trustee Forsythe.
Thank you, Mayor Pileski. I would like to move approval of the accounts payable list for February 24th, 2025 in the amount of $1,568,211.58.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Forsythe.
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Prokowski.
Aye.
Trustee Delapenna.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
That motion carries.
And that is all I have for tonight.
Thank you so much. Move on to new business. Provide direction to staff regarding another master license agreement with Ease Fiber. So we'll have our Director of Development and Engineering Services, Kristen Meal, come up to present. Do you have any more fiber companies interested in the village?
Not that we've spoken to at this time. So similar to the Lumos fiber agreement that I presented to you last month, Easy Fiber approached us immediately after that, looking to bring residential fiber into the village. They have accepted the village's standard agreement and fees, just the same as Lumos did. Neighboring communities have also been working with Easy Fiber to execute agreements with them. So they are interested in coming into the area, and they have been reaching out to multiple. And we do know that other communities have been approached by as many as 5 fiber companies to come into their towns. So it appears that the fiber market is hot in this area, and it would bring competitive pricing, hopefully, to residents.
Comments certainly indicate that we're thirsty for more competition in the market. So it's encouraging, though it's going to be years away from delivering services to people, that we have that kind of interest. So are there questions or comments from the board? Direction to move forward as staff has proposed?
Yes.
All right,
Thank you
so
very
much. Our other new business item is to provide direction regarding updates to the definition of a sign. So we'll have our Community Development Manager, Karen Bricks, presenting.
A DES double hitter for new business. So tonight, I have a request to consider changing the definition of a sign in our sign ordinance in advance of the sign ordinance update, which will be coming later this year. The village attorney was reviewing the proposed sign ordinance and found that our current definition doesn't match current case law and is not kind of enforceable in how it's defined. And the proposed definition, which was drafted by Ansel Glink, is much more preferable, easier to enforce. And so in advance of the sign ordinance update coming soon, that we're requesting direction on adopting a new definition to hopefully alleviate any issues in the future.
Great. Any questions or comments from the board?
Seems simple enough.
Makes sense. We've done it with other issues, the state changes.
It's not often we could say the Supreme Court made a decision that we have to change all of our stuff for, so, but. Everyone in consensus then to move forward as staff is directed?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for preparing that. Continuing on, we do have a second opportunity for public comment. So is there any member of the public that wishes to address the board at this time? Record show none. Is there any other business for discussion from the board tonight? Let the record show none. Otherwise, I'd like to entertain a motion to convene executive session for the purpose of discuss personnel and collective bargaining. No final action will be taken, and we will adjourn the meeting from executive session. Is there a
Moved.
move? Thank you.
Second.
Second. Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
Trustee Delapenna.
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Forsythe.
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa.
Aye.
Trustee Burkowski.
Aye.
That motion carries. Thank you so much.